Welcome back. And Shasta, wow, what a incredible, and again, as we were talking over the break, I'm not sure many people know how difficult it is in the game of golf, particularly professionally, how you have to sort of pay your own way, earn your own way. And so even when you win certain tournaments, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know the payout is you share some pool of money, whatever that is, depending on how you place, and that type of thing. And that sometimes not enough to pay the bills. It's a nice trophy, but it's not going to pay the mortgage. But I do appreciate that. But what I want to do, so there's something that concerns me about our society. And one of my biggest concerns is when we talk about our young women. Okay, so young, it can be relative. So I'm not going to say a particular age, but the reality is what you see a lot of on social media and media in general is young women being celebrated and celebrating what's going on beneath their waist. That the extent and the sum of their value is based on or predicated on, how big their behind is, their hips, their bodies, and how sexual they can be or enticing they can be. And that's the extent of who they are. And that scares me because I do know that does not age well. You may be feel one way now, but down the road, things are going to change. I know how this world works. I know that people, they'll take advantage of you. They'll use you, have fun with you, and kick you to the curb as if you didn't even matter. That's how it works. And I've met a lot of women who are depressed, who are sad, who are down, and almost suicidal for some of the things that they've been through and suffered at the hands of people who took advantage of them. So it concerns me. So I want to get your thoughts on that. How do you see that? Am I making sense? Is there a remedy? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, you're making total sense because I have stories, right? Of my journey, pursuing the LPGA Tour and actively playing. And I have to say that it's society, first off, society has always put women in a box to, for beauty, right? We're the beautiful specimen, if you will, right? And so
the object.
It's very looked at as an object. And so I know that, based off of at least my personal experiences and just growing up and becoming aware of how people treat me.
Yes.
Sometimes, it's nice to be attractive, right? People are kinder to you.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Trust me, I know what that, trust me, I know. I know, Continue.
But there's also another side to that. And I was just speaking, with someone about this, that sometimes people just, their insecurities come out when they meet you. And, they project onto you and assume things about you.
Yes.
And so my parents always raised me, I was always, my parents let me know, like, you're a beautiful young girl, but they raised me to have, I have personality, but I also have a moral compass, having character and how you treat people.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what they do or how they look. And so going through life, I'm assuming that that's how other people think, but they don't. And so what I have found on my journey in golf and being a woman and actively having to pursue resources there's been a few situations where I've had a man proposition me. And
if you do this,
I can, if you do this, I can give you what you need.
Right.
And I knew if I gave into that, I would not be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I would not be able to live with myself and knowing I had to compromise my morals, my values, my, the ethics of how I live my life. And so there were a lot of times where I had to, I turned it down. I was like, no, I can't do that. That's not something I want to give into. And I feel like the pressure for a lot of young girls and even just women in general is if you need something from the male, you have to give up something from yourself and compromise yourself to be able to be supported. And a lot of times there's, you look on social media, you look at how the value of having a certain shape, looking a certain way is more celebrated.
Well, let me ask you this, but my concern is how come, like, you can't be feminine, you can't be beautiful, like, how is it, I mean, to me, you can be all of that without compromising yourself. You can still be strong, independent, self-driven, and all these other things, and still be beautiful at the same time. And you don't have to compromise one for the other. In other words, not mutually exclusive. So I don't have to give up being pretty, being beautiful, whatever it is, and at the cost of being strong, being self-driven, independent. It seems as if a lot of women are making choices that they're either choosing to be one or the other.
I think the pressure is it's a scarcity mindset. You think that this is your opportunity now, that you need something, right? And this person can give it to you, but you do have to give in to what it is that they're asking you for. And I always thought, well, I'll figure out another way. I'm gonna go another way. I'm not going this way. I'm not gonna settle for this situation. Yes, I would love to have this type of support for my career, but I'm not going to go that path. I'm gonna, if I gotta go work at the golf course, which I did, you know, graduating college, I worked at the golf course to have privileges at the country club so I could practice on conditions that mirrored the LPGA Tour. Also to have support money to pay for my rent while my sponsors helped me with entry fees. So yes, I had long days. You know, after I clocked out, I would just change to my practice clothes, eat lunch, and go practice until dusk. And I did that up until a point where I realized I have to get on the LPGA Tour, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these LPGA Tour players that are currently on the tour are not doing what I'm doing. I got to take a chance. I got to quit my job and focus 100% on practicing.
Yeah.
But it was just a matter of me just being driven, ambitious, and having, again, that moral compass.
And it had to be a cost. I mean, because I've always said there's consequences for doing the right thing. Like, you're not going to do the right thing and think it's going to be all roses. There are real consequences for doing right. I've suffered that in my life more than once, where I did the right thing and I lost income. I lost all types of opportunities because I chose to do the right thing because I was more interested in being satisfied than being happy.
Correct.
And I had to have that peace. I had to, you know, lay down at night. But what I want to do is I want to, one, I know you're doing a lot right now. I want people to know what you're up to. You're an incredible influencer. You influence me. I'm watching. I just can't wear the same clothes. Like some of the clothes you might like.
We might have your size though.
Like, yeah, I need to get. So what I want to do when we come back, I want to just talk a little bit about what you're up to now, how people can get involved, how can they follow you on social media. Of course, we'll have all your links up and all of that, all your socials. But, you know, people can get involved and kind of know what Shasta is up to now. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to find out what Shasta is up to these days and how we can support what she's doing.